Look Outreach is underwritten by the generous support of Munter Enterprises. Family owned and operated since 1972, integrity is important, as our family name is on every project. Our word is our bond. Munter Enterprises. Just build it.
Welcome back, everyone. Paula Tencredi Penman is here. Paula Tencredi Penman is here. I told you I was going to start with your name. You knew that.
You warned me. And then we're
One
off.
of the infamous Wilton Five. If you've been following us during this election cycle, just very refreshing things going on in Wilton. And we have affectionately referred to the people that are running up there to kind of give people more of a choice as the Wilton Five. And this is one of the members. This is Paula Tencredi Penman, who's running for the town board. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. This is fun.
Very nice to have you.
Thanks for having me back.
I've really enjoyed getting to know all of you. And it, just in case somebody's a little late to the party here, you put together a kind of coalition of 5 people. And what was the main reason for wanting to do that?
The main reason is to bring balance, right, to the board in Wilton. And not only the board, but primarily the board, right? So we've got 3 positions on the board, town supervisor, and there's 2 town board positions open, all right? So there's, with one person, with the one female coming off, we would have no difference in gender, no difference in political party, and there's some similar community interests going on there as well, right? And we want to bring balance. That's not good for our town, all right, without some balance and some different perspective. So that was the idea behind.
Now, I remember the last time you were here, we were talking that one of the drivers for you is that you've always been very attracted to marketing and strategic planning, right? That's your background?
It's what I do.
Yes,
It's exactly what I do, is marketing and strategic planning. So, yeah, 10 years in the town of Wilton, and, we see the growth, we see some of the changes that are going on, and what I'm not hearing is, what is the plan? What is the plan 5 years out? What is the plan 10 years out? What is the plan 25 years out? 25 years is not a long time to plan for a town.
Right.
And without some strategic thinking and some process and procedure around that, we don't know where we're going to land at that time. That's scary. We just don't know.
Well, if you've been a resident for 10 years, you've seen a lot of change.
It's been a lot of change.
I think, I've been here for a while myself, and in the last 10 years, Wilton just used to be the mall. That was it, right? And with a bunch of just land around it. And if you go into Wilton today, the population count has grown significantly. And, to your point about a 5-year, 10-year, even 25-year plan, when you think what it takes, especially for development, to get approvals, to get plans together, to get executions together, to build and all that other stuff, that's not a stretch to be wanting to think 5, 10 years out. And, the other underlying thing I get here, Paul, is really a sense of maybe some fresh thinking with regard to development and planning.
Well, if no one new gets on the board, then in fact you don't have fresh thinking, right?
Yeah,
you have the same thinking. And it might breed a little bit of complacency, as it would in any of us if we're not challenged, if there's no competition.
Yes.
So that was another large part of putting together an entire slate to compete with who's in office right now.
Got it. Now, if you're talking about development and you're talking about planning, I think of primarily 3 areas. I think of residential, I think of retail, and I think of industrial. Let's tackle each one of those. Okay. Residential.
So residential, we're hearing a lot of concern, all the candidates are hearing a lot of concern about overdevelopment. Not development, but we don't want to get into a position of being overdeveloped, right? Because now we have issues. We really need to think through traffic flow. We need to think about the impact on our schools, right? There's a lot of the services that we offer the town. So that's very, very important. None of us want to change anything about the fact that we have no town tax. That's really important to all of our citizens. So let's make sure that we can offer all of the services, offer the beautiful roads that we have, right, and not overdevelop.
Good. Let's move to retail. A lot of people are saying brick and mortar retail is dead. You've got the Amazons of the world. You've got one of the nicest malls sitting right there in Wilton. So talk a bit about the retail then.
So that's particularly important in strategic planning, isn't it? Yes, of course we know about this phenomenon, this dynamic about online shopping, but that doesn't mean we can't find a good business model or we can't find good solutions. We have excellent retail space. I mean, think about the access right off of exit 15.
Sure.
Right? We are in a beautiful, beautiful spot, but we need to strategically think through what to do and what to do versus online shopping.
Yes, got it. And then let's go to the third one. Target, big presence up there on what I think they call the corridor.
Yeah,
Right.
When you come off at exit 16, right? And I guess the question becomes, do you really want a corridor, right? We have the Target distribution center, Ace Hardware is there. There is land that can be developed there as well. And so the question becomes, do we want to or don't we want to? What does that mean to the town? What does it mean, perhaps in a con to the town?
All of this affects what people perceive as the unique culture, maybe, of a community, right? So kind of cycling back to your point of, if you do have balance on a town board and if you do have some fresh thinking on the board, you bring new perspectives as to how to maintain the culture of Wilton.
The point about bringing some balance to the board is thinking all the way through any issue that comes up, right? All the way through. There are no shortcuts at all. When you have all different perspectives, all different kinds of thinking, everybody has a say, right? And it's all going to be different. And you're going to have to think all the way through. The entire process will have to be followed. That's really, really important. So yes, we just absolutely need this balance on the board.
Well, you sure sound like a strategic planner. I've been in marketing my whole life. I really understand so much of what you're talking about.
Yeah,
all right,
and then
we've
you're right
got
back to the culture too, right? Is asking that question: what do we want the culture of that town to look like when you get off at exit 15 and when you get off at 16?
Right.
So you're absolutely right.
And I think about what you're saying about preserving some of that beautiful open space in Wilton. I'm a driver. I love cars, and I just love to drive all through those roads there. There's some of the most beautiful land, that beautiful open flat land. Isn't it something?
Well, it's a historic town.
Yeah, sure it is.
Right? So you really have to wonder, how do we preserve that and at the same time move forward with these other questions around, again, things like development.
So we've got a couple of days to go before the election.
Only
You
a
must be
couple of
nervous
days.
as you know what. Local elections are important. So give me that last thing you would like to say to our voters.
All right. You must get out and vote. You must get out and vote. We've had candidates lose by 14 votes in the past. That's how close it can become. Exercise your right, all right, and bring your voice to the town of Wilton.
You've got it. Okay. You know what? They say all politics is local, and this is a real case. Well, it's been really nice to get to know you,
Thank
Paula.
you so
Best
much.
of luck to you.
I appreciate that.
And we'll see you on the other side.
All right, we will.
Okay. To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.